Three, two, one. What is up, everybody? You are listening, you are watching to the Book of Gaberock. I am your host, Gabriel Avila. We have we are in the very, very last day of February. We are almost heading into March. Hope everybody's doing well. It has been a crazy month of February, crazy 2026 so far. Can't believe we're already 2 months into it, 2 months down, and rounding the turn of the beginning of the first month of the last of the court, whatever. It's going to be March. I don't know why I tried to make it more complicated than it needs to be, but everybody's doing well over here. We are, fun fact, still no assignment. It has been noted that I have been a little bit more spicy at work because I still don't have an assignment. It is still a legit kind of thing. I think the last time I heard, there are like 14 kernels that are in my boat that still have not been notified. And it's fun because I'm being asked to be like, hey, do you want to compete for command again for the next round? And I'm getting kind of snarky, and I'm like, well, I have no idea what I'm doing next. So why are you going to ask me if I want to raise my hand for something when I don't know where I'm going next? That's kind of weird. And I think everybody knows, like, yes, sir, we know. It's longer than we thought it was going to take, and then nothing. I thought my boss was going to tell me something yesterday, but he didn't. And so hopefully it'll be next week. Whatever. It doesn't really matter anymore. At some point I'll be able to share the news where we're heading next. But for now, we are laying in the cut, and it has been a very, very busy time at work, and lots of fascinating conversations have been going on. I think my place of employment has never, ever, most of the places as I've continued in my career, continue to give me lots of things to talk about, lots of things to analyze. And I think because of my role as a senior leader, I want to make sure that I'm sharing my knowledge and my experiences to my teammates, because I feel very, very compelled to make sure that the people that are under my charge, I'm not kidding, I need them to be better than me. I really, really want them to be better than me. Not necessarily the same as me. I want them to be better than me. They're going to be individually whatever type of person that they are. Some of them aren't communicators, and that's okay. Not that there's nothing wrong with not being a communicator, but I've been a IT professional for the preponderance of my life, or my career, I should say. And so like those kind of ideas where some are coming from a different trade. But yeah, whatever you're going to be doing, I really want them to succeed and be really good leaders in the Air Force, because this is a very, very interesting time, because as you know, we have multiple generations going in the Air Force, and we're actually at a very interesting place where I feel like we're trying to apply some ideas of the good old days, but then like when it's us and our certain generation, we're applying it to younger generations who have not necessarily experienced the same things that we have gone through. Potentially there's a misapplication and there's a disconnect, and it's not without good intention. I think both sides would like to have, I'm assuming even the youths would like to have some degree of connection, but how we go about that, I think we may have differing opinions. Nobody is wrong per se. I think everybody has, like I said, good intentions, but the way we go about it, I think it's different. And so, but I'm still a positive believer. I still think there has to be, I have to believe there's something in there where we can make this work. And there's always going to be some commonalities no matter what. We still serve. We chose to raise our right hand. We still chose to serve in the greatest Air Force in the world. And so we have that at least commonality. And so I'm going to do my best and continue to try and contribute to raising my replacements and figuring out how we can challenge them to become better leaders. Speaking of that, we did have the last week's article was actually inspired because we actually had it's called a Senior Leader Planning Event, SLPE. And since we in the military can't do anything unless we take an acronym and make it a word, like announce it, we call it Slippy. Sure, I don't really care. And so Slippy, it was a 2-day event where it was like we covered a lot of stuff that happened in 2025 and where we were going to go in 2026. It was lots of information sharing. But what that left out was not a lot of information exchange, not a lot of discussion, because it was a lot of one-way talking. And so because I'm weird like that, I noticed there wasn't a lot of discussion, and I was like, well, I'm going to carve out some time for us and our squadron commanders to talk about this the following week. And so because I'm weird, I was like, yeah, so since it's Slippy, Slappy, Swami, Samsonite. I was way off. I decided to host a Sloppy Joe's event. I'm not kidding. I actually called it Sloppy Joe's. I've had a Sloppy Joe's in like a decade or something. But our front office, they ended up having a Sloppy Joe's challenge. They both started with ground beef and then King's Hawaiian sweet rolls. And then they both had two separate recipes. So shout out to Sergeant Cope for actually winning the champion. 5 over 4. It was really, they both were really good. Shout out to Crash. But Sergeant Cope came out with the W. And so it was definitely but we took about like hour and a half to 2 hours just talking about decompressing, deconstructing what the things that we talked about, how you approach. It's called Slippy, but I call it like a leadership offsite. It's not uncommon, at some point in time where you take certain portions of your formation, usually some of the management, and you go somewhere else and you usually have an intention of something. Why are you meeting and what are you going to be doing here? A lot of times, we talked about sometimes it's you want to redesign or reprioritize some of where your organization is going. Maybe you want to do some mission planning. Maybe you want to come up with new marketing materials, whatever it is. What is your designated intent for this event? Therefore, you have a specified list of deliverables as an outputs of the event. For our Slippy, the main intent was just sharing, which meant there was no actual deliverables. Okay, that's a choice, and that's what it is. That was unsatisfying to most of us, so that's why we had the following discussion. And so we actually had a deliverable. We came out with our collective support group, how we're going to distill the information that we took in, and we at least generated our interpretation of where we think we're going and looped in what our current initiatives that we're already doing in stride anyway, and how we're trying to remain strategically aligned to our senior leadership priorities. And I think it was a really good job and really good discussion to figure out, like, how do we make sure that we're aiming in the right direction? That's the key thing. And how do we have a very diverse set of mission sets across the support group. So how does each individual mission set fit in there? And everybody can see their place within. None of us were struggling to find out how we fit in the mission set. We were very, very confident and know how we contribute. So it was really, really good to hear the leadership. And I told them it's your responsibility to make sure all of your airmen know exactly how they fit into the mission. And they take it very, very seriously, and they know how to do that very, very well. So we talked about that and deliberately wanted to have an information exchange. And it was very much two-way exchanges. I wanted to hear some of their perspectives. A lot of them have experience as well, and they have experiences both with how those kind of offsite experiences or events should and should not be run, and then also familiarization with our specific mission. So therefore, it was a really good collaboration event, and how we believe we need to move forward together for at least the remainder of my tenure of command, and then under a current wing commander. And so that's what I call information exchange. We all agreed if we had more time, that's probably what we should have done together as a larger group, but we just didn't have enough time to do that. And so, as we left, what I said was, now that you all at some point because you have more career in front of you than I do, you will either participate or host one of these kind of events. It's up to you to set the conditions to make sure you're going to get this information exchange started. Maybe that means you have some assigned homework before you start the event. That way everybody has certain mindsets and key pieces of planning information that they go, so you can hit the ground running and you can actually start working and developing ideas and working on products as you go along. Maybe you want to not only just have senior leaders and experienced people in the room, maybe you want to have a junior airman. Maybe you want to have somebody who's just coming out of left field, have a very outside the box thinking, and they can actually introduce something that none of us have, because we all sort of have a more tenured, I'll call it a tenured bias, because most of us are a little bit more longer in the tooth than otherwise. So having a junior airman, a junior officer in there sometimes offers a really, really good fresh perspective that we have not thought of, or maybe it just ends up being a counterbalance to what we're thinking of right in the room. Therefore, we're not so off target when we're trying to do some planning. So those kind of things, just making sure we are deliberately thinking about how we're trying to approach and talk together as a team. Key point, talking. That was actually the biggest thing. Allowing time and space, allowing the free flow of information, ideas. No ideas are bad ideas. Maybe the timing and tempo of what we're talking about, maybe we have to pause and put it in the parking lot because that could derail a conversation. But it doesn't mean it's not value added. It's just not, it's not good right now. It's good for later. And so you need to have someone who knows how to facilitate those kind of conversations. But it's really, really good. And so very, very impressed at how we came together and developed our moving forward. A lot of good positive things. We have both a balance of morale and mission going forward. Excited to just keep focus and keep at least the airmen under our charge and what we can control, focusing on being good airmen. One of the things I talked about during the Slippy event is no matter where we came from, no matter what generation you come from, if you're wearing the uniform, if you're a civilian, if you come to the gate, you come to those doors, if you're part of the Air Force, so there's just 3 non-negotiable things: our core values: integrity, service, excellence. All of us have to, from the beginning, you have to have those characteristics. If you're not, you got to get out. You're not part of this team anymore. And so I'm trying to make sure that we all remember this, because I'm starting to sense behavior is just kind of odd. We work in a very like white collar environment with first world problems, and we start to like pick fights with each other with virtually no reason to do that. We just create tension for no damn reason. And so I'm trying to remind everybody that like we're all on the same team, right? Right? We're on the same team. We don't have to take each other down. You don't have to, in order for you to move forward, you don't have to push someone down. And so like when I start to see that kind of behavior, I need to call it out and also make sure that none of that behavior is coming out of our support group, because I know it won't come out of our group. And just making sure that, especially for our junior airmen and junior officers, that they understand, hey, that's not acceptable behavior. And I say it out loud, that is not acceptable behavior. Do not emulate that. I tend to learn a lot better from poor examples, and because those just kind of cement in my mind as like, I really, really don't want to grow up and be like that. So I'm really, really hoping that we say those things out loud just to be sure, to be like, that is not acceptable. Do not do that, to be sure. But very, very proud of what the work that we've accomplished as a team this week and we'll be doing over the next couple months. It is kind of odd to think about very much in the downhill, as we, again, still know where I'm going, but I know I'm going somewhere this summer. And so, but we have a lot of stuff and work to accomplish between now and then. March is going to be it's a long month, but it'll be a busy month. And I'm looking forward to producing more content. It's weird. I already started thinking about a couple more articles. I can't help myself where I'm starting to weave in like my own personal nerdy things, and then leadership philosophies and authentic leadership, strategic operations. There's a lot of stuff blending my digital analog kind of things about leadership. I really, really enjoy it. So I really hope this content provides some value added for you. If you're not already, you can check out thebookofgaberock.com and you check out some of my previous content. It goes way, way back for a while. And so you can check all those things out. You can also subscribe to the podcast, check out the YouTube channel, and always keep up with everything. I publish content every week. We do alternate between these freestyle sessions, and then next week we have a regularly scheduled where I tend to take my time and write everything down and do a more structured episode. And then I alternate between freestyle episodes and structured. So I'm really, really digging this format. And so I hope you enjoy it too. And I try and give some life updates too. Our poor Sally, she was interrupting the episode last week. I don't know what she was barking at, but she's taking a nap right here. So she's trapped in here with my studio. It's my office, but she's resting well. It is kind of stormy here. It's been raining here today anyway. So I don't know how much outside time we're going to get, but I needed to get her outside because she deserves some sunlight as well. All right, team. So I hope you find methods to where you can do some more information exchanges in addition to information sharing. Just make sure you use them both. They both have good purposes. Just make sure you use them wisely. Don't let one overtake the other. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me if you need anything, and take care of yourselves. Can't stop, won't stop. Peace.